welcome to Friday Facts number 386, the Vulcanus. Right, Mojo? Right?
Who's Rhaenys?
Vulcans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go Volk,
Volk.
and then the rest.
Anus.
There you go.
Okay, so this post is by Arendelle, and yes, we're going to be covering the new planet today. It's going to be interesting because this is one of the 4 new planets. So we're going to take an in-depth look at each planet's terrain, changes, processes, technologies, new gear, but not all at once. In some cases, the planet's content will split into multiple parts. Kick these off, we'll cover the terrain and natural aspects of the planet, the closest thing to being finished. So we have welcome to the planet. It is a toasty volcanic wonderland, conveniently sandwiched between the idyllic Narvis, and the sizzling sun. It's closer to the sun than most would dare to venture, but trust me, it's a splendid place to start your interplanetary travels. So we're probably going in before we go out of the solar system.
Seems to be the indication.
Yeah. I do like the planet icon. It's going to be very obvious which planet that one is.
Yeah. Very obvious sulfuric acid looking color.
Yeah. So our journey begins amidst the blazing volcano mountains. Imposable geological landforms often feature a central lava pit. These fiery cubicles offer a great place to get rid of waste items, throw them in, and poof, glorious buff of smoke and flame. Outdated gadgets, cursed rings of power, or maybe even unwanted company. Mojo, would you mind playing a multiplayer game with me?
Sure. Is this completely unrelated?
Yeah, completely unrelated. I got a couple of pistols. I want to show you how to dispose of them in the future. I'm just going to give you one to hold in each hand and just dispose of them.
That would make an interesting production line. Just have a pistol assembly line that just conveyors into the lava.
Well, not only that, you could recycle the pistols first, and then anything that's of a higher quality, you could then dump the crap into the lava.
Yes. That could be an interesting way to dispose of the lower tier items.
Yeah, rather than recraft them into something else and then recycling them and have another shot at 25% of getting an upgrade. Yeah, we're off topic already. Yeah.
I mean, it's Factorio. Why go to the trouble of recycling when you can dump it and mine and make more?
mine a new one. Yeah. The high points of the mountains. Are desolate ridges that surround the lava pits. This would be a good vantage point if it weren't for the thick yellow fog that burns your lungs and etches your eyes. I believe with the amount of pollution I've dumped on a Narvis, I don't think anything affects our lungs or our eyes. I'm pretty sure we're immune.
I think that Power Armor Mark II is pretty resistant to that stuff.
Yeah. I know that I've died many times and gone back to spawn without a Power Armor. It's been perfectly fine. Yeah. But we down.
I think it was even the Soviets that figured that out too. It's technically Venus.
Yeah, Venus. Everything melts very quickly.
Yeah.
So further down the mountainside, sulfuric acid geysers will bellow thick yellow smoke from fissures. The surrounding area is pitted by dried sulfur puddles where sulfur-stained rock covers a larger area. Feel the rock crunch under your footsteps. This area has calcite deposits leaching out of the rock. It can be mined easily by your trusty mining drills, but the many cliffs, valleys, and rocky protrusions render the terrain unsuitable for anything larger than a small mining outpost. And then we have a pretty video, and the videos are
It's a very nice video.
It's a very, very nice video. Yeah. Arendelle is the one piloting the tank and has answered the question, how many takes did he have to do to get the piloting of this tank done as artfully as he could? And the answer
it turns out it's following a programmed path.
No, it was 20 plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somebody is driving manually. There was debates because I do these live on Twitch. You can always watch them on the second channel. There was definitely debates here earlier on whether it was a pre-programmed or somebody was actually recording it. But there is a stutter as it goes above the lava. It does a turn to the left, then a turn to the right. No, when it comes into this narrow pass. Yeah, it does a squeeze one when it squeezes the other. And like that's a player thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a little micro correction.
Yep. In the shadow of the mountains, the ashlands have some semblance of tranquility in this turbulent landscape. The thick pillars of insulating ash are like cool, comforting blankets that keep the worst of the heat at bay. Ashlands are the most habitable area, but on this planet, that's not saying much. It's mostly a desert, but clusters of vegetation defy the harsh conditions to calm a precarious existence here. The only resource here is coal. Vegetation was buried in ash long ago, compressed, heated, and exposed once again. With flat terrain and sparse vegetation, if you're looking for a good location for a base, you won't do much better than the ashlands. And again, we get another pretty little video. But it means, yeah, there's only two resources confirmed so far: coal and calcite. Calcite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that all coal there that they drove over?
Yes, it's all coal.
I didn't actually notice that when I looked at these last time.
It's a very poor patch of coal, I want to mention.
Oh, yeah, it's a very low richness patch of coal.
Yeah, yeah.
I also noticed that there's like a tree that's on fire and it seems to extinguish as the tank goes past and then lights on fire again.
No, the tree is on fire, but the tree stays on fire and doesn't burn. And I think when the tank interacts with it, that's when the fire becomes like a real fire in Factorio and will start damaging things. So before that, I think like it's a paused entity, so it doesn't take any damage. But then when the tank interacts with it, it then becomes a real fire, which will then burn that tree in air quotes.
Or it's just fire that's just suddenly started spreading. It's like starts out like that. It's like when you get a lava pool in Minecraft and it starts burning the landscape.
Okay. So descending further, we reach the basalt. Yep, basins where vast lava lakes and rivers have etched a labyrinth network. There are many safe paths through, but the routes tend to be circular. No.
Circuitous?
Yeah, that's the one. Big circles. It's fast to go around or over with elevated rails if you can, which now confirms you can put elevated rails in lava. The lava side, from being a formidable obstacle, also a resource abundant with iron, copper, and stone. Yeah, that's going to change resource gathering a little bit.
It's almost like sanctioned C block on the lava block.
Yeah, lava block.
That means you're pumping in lava and turning it into iron, copper, and stone. It's turning it into your fundamentals. Yeah,
I'm just hoping that the lava doesn't recede as you pump it, because that would really make mining outposts.
Yeah, that would be slightly irritating.
Finally, pursuit of tungsten beckons exploration deeper in the lava maze. That's why you're really here, right? With unyielding toughness, that little drill you brought won't do much good. I'm sure nothing will mind if you mine a little. So then we have another wonderful little video. And the lava pits are awesome.
Very pity.
Very pretty and very, very bright. And I've been playing a whole lot of mods over on Twitch for quite some time now, where we've been playing with the colorscape of Factorio, making the nights very, very dark, and then adding, glow effects where we can. So we make sure that uranium ammo is extra bright. We make sure that when you fire bullets, they have like tracer rounds in them, so you can see what's happening in the dark.
Oh, like that.
But it's very, very dark most of the time, but it also means that like spit lights up and this lights up and lasers are really bright, so you can really get some sort of light around you. But yeah, with them doing the same with lava, I really think this will lend itself to darker than normal nights. I know I've been playing modified for so long, I can't tell if this looks to be darker than normal, because the video definitely starts out at nighttime. Because the torch is on, well, the lights are on the tank.
Yeah, the lights are on, so it's nighttime.
Yeah.
People on Reddit were talking about that, and I don't think they quite noticed that, yeah, it was actually dark as well, or nighttime as well.
Yeah, it's nighttime right at the start of the video, but normal day-night cycle in Factorio, the nights are not very long. All right? And I've got plenty of experience taking screenshots, and there's a very, very narrow part of the night that is as dark as possible. And it's literally like about a minute.
It's every time. Every time.
It's 1 minute that's as dark as the game gets. And that's when I've taken lots of screenshots. But So, design the planet. When designing planets or bodies for a solar system, unless they're all moons, you expect the different planets to be different temperatures, with hotter places close to the sun and colder places, planets further away. Of all the planets we visit, there should be a hottest and a coldest, and it didn't feel right for either of these to be Narvis. So, as expected, we had at least one planet hotter and at least one planet colder than Narvis. Vulcanus is the hottest planet, named after Vulcan, the Roman god of fire, volcanoes, deserts, metalworking, and the Forge. The name is appropriate for both the planet's terrain and planet-specific technologies. And being the hottest planet, I wanted Vulcanus to have lava. Got some pushback on the bias that lava worlds are too cliche in games. It's not untrue. The planet uniqueness is certainly a high priority, but it has some counter arguments. Would only be true if the planet was one-dimensional and was only about being lava, which I agree. And if we don't have parts of the landscape hot on the Earth as our hot planet, many people would find it underwhelming. The lava would be notable by its absence. So, well then, hang on. Mars seems to be hotter than Earth?
It just it lacks atmosphere.
Yeah. It lacks atmosphere, but it means it's hotter during the day and also colder during the night.
Yeah, because it does have frozen caps.
Yeah. Yeah, whereas somewhere like Venus, which is really what we're comparing it to, is just hot all the time.
It's hot, thick cloud, and it's actually dry there. It's more like the ashland, what they describe with the ashlands.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be a hot place.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So I think, what's it called? I was trying to think of the game. Riftbreaker, they did the exact same thing, a lava-y hot world, hot biome.
They did. And the other thing that they did is every single biome Riftbreaker has different different enemies, and that's yes. One thing they have alluded to. Yes, one line. But who knows what may awaken in the depths of Vulcanus? Yeah. I don't know. Huh?
Never mind.
I'm hoping that we get something interesting. There have been rumors, and there have been... Did I open the tab? No, I didn't open the tab. We did see in a previous Friday Facts a weird-looking thingamajiggy bob.
Jelly brain?
No, not the brain thing. Not the brain thing. It's too dry for the brain thing. Brain thing's going to be a different planet.
It's more of a swampy thing.
Yes. No, we did see something that could be similar to a thumper from June.
Oh.
Yep. It was down the bottom on the task the toolbar during one of the Friday Facts. I don't know. Maybe in post I can slip it in right about here. So it was there somewhere, and that is a possibility that maybe we'll have moving worms. I'd like to see moving worms because we're going to get to a map view in a second, and yeah, worms as turrets that move around I think would be interesting because the larger worms definitely outrange you, or outrange any guns we have currently. Yep. So we have a volcanic planet. It's more about the ashy plains, the mountains, the sulfuric acid geysers, and the lava rivers, and the volcano tops. It's also worth noting that in the earlier planet's development were some additional forms of vegetation, but those were later moved to a different planet, so we could amplify the specific desolate and scorched atmosphere that makes this planet unique and distinct from others. On this planet, I wanted different areas to be useful for different things, so you treat them differently and adapt to the landscape. You can't just pave over everything until ultra late game, so initially each area has its role. The ashlands are a great place to build because they're flat and get easily cleared of sparse vegetation. The mountains have two critical resources you need immediately, but they're difficult to build on until you get cliff explosives. And the lava areas start as an obstacle, but later transitions to be the most important area to mine. And then we have a picture of a map, which I have separated out. And the flat areas are going to be fine, but yeah, you don't get cliff explosives.
Yeah, there's a lot of cliffs there, and already the cliff haters are wincing in pain.
The cliffs are going to be fine. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I've already had a look at the videos, and unfortunately, so in Factorio, when cliffs go down, they go down in a random orientation, okay? It's not like you have all the cliffs facing towards the east to imply that you're going up and up and up higher. They could be facing the east, they could be facing the west, whatever it happens to be. From the videos we've seen so far, or from going through the videos, I'm not sure whether that's been implemented properly. It doesn't look like it has been in the driving through. But then when I look at this, and by playing the amount of Factorio I have, it looks like all the cliffs are building their way up to the volcano pits at the top.
So the game doesn't represent height, but it does have a kind of contour map generator.
It does.
Contour layer generator, and that's how it maps out the cliffs. So that's how it gets the heights correct.
Yeah. Well,
the effective height, I should say, because there is no height. It's all flat.
I don't know if it gets it correct, but let's leave that now for now. But we do remember back in Friday Facts number 373, we did say that there were going to be no cliff explosives. So no artillery, no cliff explosives at this point. No Spidertron, no best tier modules, and some personal equipment is also missing. If this is your first planet you're going to. So you've been warned. You're going to be blue science.
Yep, blue science.
Yeah. Which means lasers, flamethrowers. Although I have a feeling flamethrowers are probably not going to work on whatever the hell's on this planet.
Unless it can throw lava.
Maybe. But yes, we have our coal, we have our flatlands, we have the calcinite, we have tungsten, and then the I don't know, the yellowish oil patches, because that's what they look like.
That's the calcite.
No, the white one's the calcite.
Oh, the white one's the calcite. Yeah, okay.
The yellow ones are sulfuric acid.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we haven't got to that part. But yeah, they're going to be sulfuric acid. So you're going to go through a lot of acid. Also, there's no oil. The only way you're going to get oil is via coal liquefaction. And we both know how that chews through coal.
Yes, it's actually just below the picture.
The next line.
Yeah,
it is. So yeah, over time, lava has become a pivotal part of the gameplay because it provides a lot of new opportunities. New obstacle, you can't landfill for a long time, blah, 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 blah. But you can void items. So, lava gives you iron, copper, and stone. Excess can be thrown back in. Coal gives you coal, but with liquefaction, you can get secondary oils too. Sulfuric acid geysers give you sulfuric acid directly. So we're going to be going through a lot of sulfuric acid. Calcinite is a new resource which is useful when combined with other things, such as sulfuric acid. And tungsten is all that requires some special smelting methods compared to iron and copper. So it's going to be slightly different to forge in a different type of smelter.
So we're going to get base game alloy smelting. Something from like Bob's or equivalent.
Well, calcite, yes. But calcite, because you're going to mix it within sulfuric acid, they don't have a chemical plant.
I wonder if calcite's going to be part of making like steel or something. Oh no, you can't get there without steel. Anyway.
You already have steel
So
at this
I don't think
point.
steel's changing.
So I don't know.
And technically that would be carbon or nickel or something anyway.
I don't know. Sulfuric acid's obviously going to be important because you're going to get it so easily on this planet. And unless you're going to dry it out to get sulfur to mass transport sulfur to mix back with water to make sulfuric acid, it doesn't make a sense to ship it. Also,
What if you need the sulfuric acid to mine the tungsten like you mine uranium with sulfuric acid?
That's sort of what I'm expecting, but I don't remember enough about the mining process of tungsten to lay in one way or another about that. Yeah. So Fortune the planet. Map generation, landscapes, biomes, and distributions was the hardest part of this whole process. I'm sure they spent more time designing building landscape itself than any single thing that goes into it. The task is a unique blend of maths, code, and artistry. I'll cover more on how this was designed and made in a future Friday Facts. Trying to explain it now will make this post far too technical. One area I can explain quickly is the starting area. Vulcanus has a very predictable starting area as compared to Narva's. This is required not only to give you access to convenient starting resources, primarily to show you what sort of terrains that these resources appear on. Knowing the terrain association is important here For example, if you want more sulfuric acid, then you should be exploring mountains to find it. The starting area has 3 distortion circles representing a mountain, a basalt basin, and an ashland plateau. These circles have guaranteed resource patches of sulfuric acid, calcinite, coal, and tungsten. The whole arrangement can be rotated and flipped to not look too repetitive across different game seeds, or is done with basic math and trigonometry, plus a bit of distortion we'll ignore for now. If you're learning trigonometry and wonder if it's ever useful, yes it is. It's just this is just one of many ways. So we have our start in the middle.
Useful trigonometry.
Well, I just did a Captain Institute video that's not published yet, but it's probably going to go out the same day as this Friday Facts, which involved a whole bunch of algebra to make it closed loop, but a system that's not normally a closed loop, make it a closed loop by just slowly removing and eliminating all the factors through lots and lots of algebra. Yes. So we have your origin, you have your starting mountain, which is going to have your calcinite plus your sulfuric acid geysers, which is a weird icon for a sulfuric acid geyser, I have to say.
It is barely possible to tell what that is.
Well, the only thing I can assume is it's that, because like that's tungsten, that's coal, that's the calcite, so it has to be the other thing.
So by process of elimination, and the yellow that's underneath, that's sort of visible underneath the icon too. But yeah. Yeah.
That might need a small refactor. Yeah. So then we have our coal in the ashlands, and then the lava basin, which is a very, very large area. And I'm also willing to bet this is where we're going to find biters. I can really see the biters living in the lava basin. At least I hope so. It means lots of little islands lots of little bridges to defend across.
Turns out that the darker red dots are actually biters.
Oh,
they're
perfect.
hidden there already.
Actually, there are darker red dots. Yeah, I didn't even notice.
It's the wrong color red, by the way. There are no biters, actual biters. Before people get ideas, just in case.
Oh, there's no guarantee they're the same type of biters. Maybe they're different biters.
That's true, yes.
Maybe there are different colored reds, you know?
Yeah.
It could be lava, it could be biters, it could be friendly, it could be foe, it could be, yeah.
It's like Prison Architect. You got the bright red for the maximum security, and then the super max is dark red. You know, the even more dangerous ones.
So yes.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. For the tile set within each landscape, the nature of the settings steered us in particular directions: rock, ash, lava, etc. But there's still a lot of creative freedom within that. With volcanic rock, for example, lots of different ways it could look, ranging from sponge-like pumice. That's not even pronounced correctly, but it's close, to folded glassy rock that almost looks like melted black plastic. Used lots of reference photos to start tile sets and gradually shifted them to something more purposefully alien. Factorio is a stylized game, but I try to make sure that when we diverge from reality, we do it intentionally and not out of ignorance, except for iron. Yeah. Okay. The typical workflow is either make a sketch of a tile set or gather some reference images. Feargal? Gonna go with? Yeah?
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah. We'd make the textures in Substance, Designer, and Blender. And then we go through the many rounds of me painting over sectors of the tile set and figure out making adjustments. When we're close to a finish, I then do a color correction plus so all the tile sets integrated correctly into their respective biomes. So we have a cliff, we have I guess like the lowlands, midlands, lowlands, yeah,
ashlands,
biome lands, lava lands. It'll be fun.
Salt lands.
Sure, let's go with what he said. So the lava requires some special attention. I've made glowing lava in the 1.1 version of the game a couple of times now, but had to choose between something that has motion and looks like orange water, or something that looks like lava but has no motion to it. For the 2.0 engine lava, Virgo made a prototype lava shader outside the game and got something looking good using multiple texture layers and distortion. Doing it this way was good because when the shader was implemented in-game by him and Priscilla, it was already known how many layers we'd need, what gets sorted by what, and so on. A typical approach might be the shader was coded by a programmer first, and the artist would try and work within the constraints of the system. But I'm pretty sure giving the artist some say in the initial constraints saved a lot of time. It's not that there weren't revisions, there were many, but we have a lot to do, and saving time with good workflow definitely certainly helps. And I've got to say, the lava is awesome. I love it.
Does look good. Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this in game. This is one of the things that, I can definitely see there are parts that are mirroring and repeating through it, but that's fine. It's only because it's a static image currently. I'm sure once I see it in game and I'm driving past it in a tank, I won't stop and stare at it for too long. Not without, a very thick, heavy fire suit on. Yeah. And many of you may have noticed in previous Friday Facts, the Deconstruction Planner had some new cliffs. Yes, we did. We tried using darker versions of the Navis cliffs. It wasn't just good enough. Cliffs this planet and others are made by Lucas. One of the planets in particular, on this planet, the particular challenge with the cliffs was to make them visible enough. The darker objects on the dark background, and for the north direction especially, the first versions were very difficult to see. I found I added a fake shadow beneath the north-facing cliff and a top edge highlight on all the cliffs, then we would get them in a state where they're readable and still integrate well with the terrain. The trade-off is a bit of an unrealistic light and shadow, but usability is far more important here, and I agree 100%. Yeah, if I can't see a cliff, I'm going to get very grumpy very quickly. And I don't care if the shaders are all a little bit off. We'll call it good enough, close enough. Yeah. But yeah, like, as long as... I think when it comes to cliffs, we can definitely see that it looks like up to the left-hand corner. Top left definitely looks like up a mountain. If that ends up in a volcano at the top, I'm going to be very, very happy.
It feels like it's going up to a volcano.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's something that Factorio hasn't really done till now. Like, we've played with maps where we've experimented with a height map, and we had a map that looked like a human fingerprint. There were just lines of cliffs everywhere, and you'd find two that were like opposite to one another all the time because the engine just did not know what to do. So I'm hoping that maybe cliffs have gone through a refactor, rebuild, fix, check, whatever.
It should have already been generating correct heights. I think it just doesn't handle setting them to 100% properly.
Oh, we were way past 100%.
Oh, that's why, yeah.
We were way past 100%.
Yeah, if you're way past 100%, that'd break it.
It looked like a fingerprint. Yeah. Undergrounds were important. Also, there were areas of the map that you couldn't get to because they were completely surrounded in cliffs. Yeah.
Completely locked off.
Yeah.
One of that preview map is similar to setting cliffs to maximum. It's probably a little bit denser, but it looks very similar.
Yeah, so they also added a lot of small and medium craters on the terrain. They're just decorative, meaning there is no collision or interaction. They're flat enough to build on without looking weird. If we try to make larger craters this way, it wouldn't work because then either look too flat to look natural, or they look too steep. They'd look steep enough, but placing a machine on the edge would look wrong. Solutions make the craters collidable, but there are two more problems. The collision box is always rectangular, so hitting invisible corners is annoying. There's also a flat part in the middle that looks buildable that isn't. We also want to make some practical craters, which would mean even more special collision rules. Partial craters, which would mean even more special collision rules. Solution we came up with is more like a ring of special cliffs, where sections of the ring can be randomly removed. Unlike normal cliffs, we don't have a special start and end sections. Factorio makes sure that all of the cliff sections that can visually overlap in a full circle but still look right if they're on the edge of a broken crater. If I find a full circle crater, I put turrets in the middle like a little fort. Yeah, it doesn't really look
like a little cliff fort. Just never mind the fact that they can't see over the top.
Hey, they're shooting through the gaps. There's a gap in the north.
Okay, yeah.
There's a gap in the south. Okay, they only shoot in two directions. It's fine. Also, when lasers arm, they pop up slightly higher, right? That gives them the height advantage to shoot over, right? Yeah. It looks less like cliffs and more like a mountain range.
I wonder if you can hide a rocket silo in one.
Ooh. And breathe the belts in with undergrounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously too small for getting one in there, but the potential is there now.
The potential is there. Like, you could probably customize them out and cut out the 4 corners and slide them out a little bit and then put in some straights in the middle and stuff. But speaking of undergrounds, Mojo, I know you were dreaming. I know you were dreaming of running your pipe of water under a lava lake and out the other side to plug straight in your steam engine, hoping the underground did all the work for you. I got bad news.
Doesn't work?
Yeah, no undergrounds under lava.
Under lava, yeah. What figures as much.
No pipe, no belt. Sorry.
Just like with the space platform, they probably
they've used
rules
the same
would exist.
Rule set. Yeah. So bad luck there. But we do have sulfuric acid, guys, as both a regional point of interest and a resource. Some of the areas look almost like a sub-region in their own right. These areas aren't huge because they are resource indicators, and if the region is too big, it's harder to find the right spots to place your equipment. Find the right spots also made easier by these resource nodes having yellow smoke. Yes, we can have animated resources now. I wonder if that means in update 1.2, 2.0, the DLC expansion, whether the oil puddles that we put pump jacks on are gonna have oil squirt out of them, or the puddle move, or something in the future.
Animated oil.
Yeah.
Well, do they still squirt oil when you build on them? Is the question.
Probably not. Probably not.
Or
Or that would be hidden. That would be hidden under the pump jack. Yeah, I expect that to be hidden under the pump jack with a Z height difference. Yeah, so yes, animated resources. Jersey has made the acid puddles on the section a couple of ways. Earlier on, we had puddles filled with liquid acid, but we moved to dried up puddles to keep the planet feeling drier. Also, building on shallow liquid acid puddles didn't look right. I think it would have looked fine.
It would be a bit odd. I mean, going back to the first point about it being dry, it makes more sense for it to be dry.
Look,
it would just evaporate and crystallize.
I think it'd be fine, but I want to make sure that my building, like one corner of it sunk occasionally, right, into the ground as it got eaten by acid. That would be a requirement, you know? Okay. So, yeah, I do like this. I'm also wondering what the hell you stamp on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, is it like a Vespine geyser, gas building, or like how do you build on it?
Yeah.
Snap?
I assume it would snap the same as a pump jack. I assume that would be a requirement, and it's going to pump out sulfuric acid. Building. Well, I haven't. Yeah, it will make it a very small building. I'm expecting like pump jacks are only a 3x3.
It's like a 5x5 gas collector or something.
Well, technically we're pumping sulfuric acid, so it's a liquid.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting pump jack, so it's 3x3. I wonder if they're going to fix the pump jack problem where they only rotate, what is it, bottom left, top right? There's no other rotation.
Yeah, you only get 2 corners.
Yeah. So thermal vent chimneys were one of the areas we diverged from more typical Earth volcano. They add a lot of verticality to the terrain when you're exploring it, help feel a bit more alien instead of just an extreme part of Earth. The young chimneys are small, many ones are tall, and the old ones have crabbled back to their base. The landscape doesn't change on its own, but these little touches help it feel like it's a changing world. I also feel like I'm going to want to run a deconstruction planner over this eventually and probably collect a lot of rock.
I'd be disappointed if we can't deconstruct it and collect stone.
Yeah, it's starting to feel more like space exploration and alien biomes the more I look at it.
It does, doesn't it?
There's going to be decon planners and stone everywhere. Yeah. So, one of the ashlands look like a special burnt forest with dark leafless shapes looming over you. The trees, if that's even the right word for them, are alive, but we didn't want them to look leafy or anything like actual healthy trees. Presumably, yes, they get most of their energy by breaking down chemicals instead of photosynthesis, or perhaps they exploit the temperature gradient between the bottom and the top of the ash. From that point of view, they are maybe more of an endolith fungus? Yes. I'm not looking that one up. But they have trunk-like shapes and tree-like roll. So for now, we'll call them trees. And this is Mojo's burning trees.
Yes.
And they will...
Burning bush.
Yeah, there's a burning bush. Yeah, yeah. And it's part of the asset, so it's going to keep burning forever. And that's the one that was earlier with your tank driving past.
Tank
Yeah.
driving past, setting fire to things.
Actually, there's also, just to the right of the burning trees, is one of those craters. It's a half crater,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
two-third crater.
Yeah, one the laser turrets could see over.
At least see out one side of it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so the fire, I'm willing to bet, once you interact with it, it's going to become like normal Factorio fire and could spread to other things. I also noticed that the little red-orange bushes are back because we've got them in base Factorio right now.
Yep, they haven't gone that far. It's questionable how they can exist without water unless they feed off sulfuric acid somehow.
Aren't they in the desert biomes in base Factorio that doesn't really have desert biomes? It has...
Pretend deserts?
Yeah. That's all right. A lot of work has been done so far. Still a few remaining placeholders. The obvious ones now are the tungsten and calcite resource graphics. These will replace soon. Hopefully others don't stand out too much, like the hand-painted decoratives and in the ash sand area, because it may take longer to replace those. So I don't know. So ash sand, is that the one above?
That might actually explain those bushes.
Those bushes, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
And as for the calcite, well, I'm interested in what they come up with. Because at the moment it just looks like another ore.
I mean, it has another ore. It does look like another ore, but it also does have that that sort of stained base underneath it.
Yeah.
Which does look good.
It does look good, and it does remind me of like salt. So yeah. All right. So conclusion: the path tears through the ashy barrens and burning winds, around lava rivers and jagged foothills, crunches through dusty calcite and splashes through sulfuric acid geysers to the top of a mountainous volcano. Just being here feels epic. Vulcanus is the most developed new planet so far, which makes me worried because there's 3 other planets that aren't as developed as this one, and this one's not fully fleshed out either. And getting to this state has been a big team effort involving most of the art team. When we return to Vulcanus, we'll see some of the new processes of the planet and how the new resources are used. We'll also show a couple of new structures, one that we've teased before. Can you guess which one it is and what it does? Mojo, guesses?
It's not related to elevator rails, is it?
No.
Or recyclers?
He's really bad. They teased it back in, what, 2022? End of 22.
I think I already suggested it before we actually started. Because they mentioned, where was it? The smelting processes thing.
Yes.
Alloy smelting.
Yes, alloy smelting.
With the calcite.
Well, this is either pouring out molten tungsten, or possibly it's smelting with lava.
It could be either.
Yes. But we have an icon that's been teased. Yes. Well, 3 icons have been teased. We have what is probably going to be a smelter, what is probably something that involves lightning, and what is, I don't know, but it has a blue ribbon on it. Yeah, that's all I've got.
That's the Factorio dude with so the ribbons are just painted over the top.
Yeah, we know that
because it was a Christmas thing.
Yeah. The one with the blue ribbon is not a Factorio dude. It is.
Unless it was something teased in one of the previous recent FFFs.
No. The green thing and the blue thing, we've got no idea what they are. Still. The bottom left's a furnace. That's the furnace. We can tell that's the furnace. It's probably going to be tungsten. Blue ribbon might represent the space hub capsule thing that now looks very, very, very different. But I doubt it. Like, this is only, it is 12 months ago, don't get me wrong, but they would have had the early art down for this sort of stuff 12 months ago easily. And I doubt they would have put something, I doubt they would have teased something in one of their Christmas postcards.
Capsule.
Yeah, the capsule. Well, we don't really know how we land on a planet yet. We do know that the player does it.
Because we know currently you just teleport down.
you come down. We don't know how you get down explicitly. Yeah. So maybe that's how the player gets down, maybe. We do know resources are shipped down. We do know rockets are required to get the resources up. So yeah, but we don't know what the green thing is. We don't know what the blue thing is. And we're not going to know till they finally tell us or hint at it or something. But yeah, I'm willing to bet what these 3 items are, they would have been pretty final before they leaked it in the postcard. Because they've been working on this for 3 years now. 3 years? 3 years.
Something like that.
Yeah, 3 years now. So they're going to be, at least with some processes, they're going to have, you know, if not final renders of the graphics, they're going to be final renders. They just need the last minute quality touch-ups with, you know, a final pass, improving the graphics or improving things, exporting them into the game with the highest resolution that they choose to use, right? Anything like that, like really, really last second final touches. So yeah, I'm willing to bet these 3 are in the new DLC somewhere. Somewhere is the question. Also, as we said, if this is the most developed planet and there are 3 more to go, how long are we expecting for the DLC?
At least, well, they did say at least another year.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if it's more than another year. More than another year. Yeah. Is this a 2025 or a 2024?
It'd be a late 2024 at the earliest.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, look, it looks cool so far. I'm eager to play, but yeah. Yeah, if Satisfactory hits 1.0 first. Uh-huh. And I think with that is where we'll leave today's Friday Facts. Yep. On that note. All right. Anything else you want to add, Mojo?
The only thought was that I had with this was that, as I was mentioning with alien biomes and space exploration, is that this is a much more constrained environment compared to base Factorio. So it'll be interesting to see how it mixes in. Like, it's a lot less diverse. It's much less open and much more constrained and pushing you in a certain direction.
You're gonna have to, in base Factorio, cliffs are a thing, but you can pretty much ignore them. You
can turn them off.
Well, you can turn them off, yes, but the biggest thing you might have to do is you might have to weave a train track around a cliff. A belt, you can probably just go under the cliff, but a train track, you might not be able to run a straight line. You might have to weave around a cliff. But in this, I can definitely see there are going to be situations where people are going to end up, well, especially with mining, they're going to be mining around and in cliffs, and you're just going to have to deal with it until you get cliff explosives. Same goes for the acid.
More specifically, they're going to deal with it until a mod comes out, which is no cliffs on Vulcanus.
Yeah, but yes. You're 100%
that's going to be one of the first mods that comes out, and that's the only thing I have against these really forced. This more sort of forced way of playing the game is that people just mod it out.
Yeah, look, Factorio is an old enough game that people want to play it the way they want to play it. Like, I'm perfectly fine with having pipes that I can't step over because I have very, very short legs and the pipes are very, very tall, obviously, but they're so tall that I can't climb under them because they're obviously put on the ground. Yeah, we'll just leave that there. But many people refuse to play Factorio unless you have Squeak Through installed, where they can slip over a pipe. They can't be bothered.
I've also pointed out that a pipe that's like 1 meter in diameter is actually a lot more difficult to jump over than it seems.
Yeah, but I can still jump over it eventually. Okay, I can push myself up one slide down the other. It's not impossible. In base Factorio, it is impossible. It's 1 meter in diameter. It's only 1 meter off the ground. And they're not put on the ground in Factorio. They're like partially buried. Yeah, it's fine. We can climb over it. You're not stepping over it, but you can climb over it. Just give me a slowdown effect as I go over them to encourage me to use underground pipes. But some people refuse to play without Squeak Through. Same as solar panels. They build a whole solar field and you can't walk through it, so they install Squeak Through rather than just don't build a solar field where you want to walk.
It's not like robots exist or anything.
Yeah.
It's not like pipes to ground exist or anything.
Yeah.
It's not like they're expensive. So
Yeah.
you can just walk through where the pipes are.
Yeah, yeah. I build straight pipes all the time and carry a couple of undergrounds and just slap it in when I want to walk through them. But yeah, like, people are going to play the game the way they want to play, and it's been around long enough that some people are going to be set in their ways. So yes, there are going to be some people that just refuse to play this particular map with cliffs.
There's also a lot of people who come into the game and it's like, okay, what mods do I need to play the game? And they'll get a list of mods from people.
No,
that's just start out that way.
That's just a gaming thing. That's a gaming thing. The amount of games that I've seen people playing for the first time has just been released in, you know, a new update or whatever, and they're like, what mods do I need to play this game? And the answer is play it once in vanilla. Just play it through vanilla and then make up your own mind. What do you want to have to be easier, better, whatever? I'm playing Timberborn currently. There is a mod for a pipette tool. It's not in the base game, but oh my gosh, does it make it that much easier to play the game.
That would be a game changer.
Yeah. There's another one for automating the dams to go up and down when floods stop. Yeah. There is a lot of quality of life mods out there, but I've played through it 2 or 3 times with vanilla first before I've even worried about installing any of these mods. And yeah,
the thing you mentioned with Timberborn is that raising and lowering the floodgates manually is, I feel like it's kind of the point, because it's basically busy work because when you reach endgame in Timberborn, there's nothing to do other than raise and lower floodgates.
Yeah, but also I want to be able to not have to babysit the game for 30 minutes or an hour at a time. I want to set up a large building project and go, it's fine, even if a drought comes the next 10 minutes whilst I've stepped away, they're not going to all die because I didn't lower the floodgates.
Hopefully, endgame will get fleshed out more. But that's Timberborn, not Factorio.
That's Timberborn, not Factorio. Yep, off topic. All right, that's it. We're calling it here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. We will see you in the next Friday Facts in a week's time. Right, Mojo?
Yes, we will.
All right, that's it. We're out. Bye.
Bye-bye.